we're back with Twirl Around the World with our Big 10 Feature Twirlers. So we've learned about their backgrounds, traditions, experiences, and upcoming performances with the CBDNA Intercollegiate Marching Band. So be sure to check out those details on Intercollegiate MB on Facebook and Instagram. So we're going to close out our first episode by discussing kind of the differences between field twirling and competitive twirling. And then beyond that, we want to kind of give advice to hopefully future Big 10 Feature Twirlers. Those are the people that are probably going to take over all of your guys' spots in a couple years from now. So we'll definitely give some good advice on band camp, games, everything like that. So from my perspective, I know firsthand how different competitive twirling and field twirling is, but I want you guys to tell the rest of the world how different it is and kind of open their minds to see what you guys see. So let's start with Kimberly.
There's definitely a difference between them. So with competitions, you are, you're judged on how difficult your tricks are and how well you can, smile and show your performance. And whereas like on the field, I could do like a super easy trick, but as long as I toss it super high and just smile, people cheer for you so loud. So it's super fun. But if I had to like pick one, even though they're both super fun and I grew up competing, I would probably say field twirling is more enjoyable, but only because when I think about it, I think that the field twirling is what makes the like collegiate competition twirling so much fun, because it makes it like a lot more meaningful. And so I think when you're at a competition, you get to walk around proudly and show off your school and represent your university, and you also get to share with everyone like your traditions and what you do on the field, because you get to do your field tricks. And so I think that's really special, because I'm sure everyone has noticed by now, everyone's school is so unique and everyone does very different things on game days. So just getting to show that and share it with all the other twirlers in the entire twirling world and community has been really great, and getting to watch other people is super fun. So I'd probably say field twirling is my favorite.
I have to agree, field twirling is definitely a lot more fun for me. All growing up and still to this day, every time I compete, I have terrible nerves and I get so stressed and it's horrible. And it's very funny because when you're competing, you have 1, 2, or 3 people who are watching you. Whereas when I get on the field, there's 110,000 essentially who are watching you. But there's something that's just very comforting about having a whole bunch of Michigan fans watching you, because they're there to support you and want you to do amazing. And like Kimberly said, they think you're fantastic no matter what you do. And so it's very fun to be able to show off what you practiced your whole entire life, many hours every single day, what you sacrificed for, to people that love to watch.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Kimberly and Marcy. I have competed for many years, and it's very similar to what Marcy was saying. You get a lot of nerves, you're building up all of that stress because you want to put out the best performance, whereas field twirling, you still want to give the best performance, but what Kimberly said, there's no difference between doing a double illusion to a single illusion. The audience just loves seeing your baton go super high up in the air and you catch it. They love seeing all your different tricks, because a lot of them I found haven't really seen twirling before, which is why I kind of also wanted to be a part of what Lexi's doing here today, is because I like to spread the baton twirling community and I want to make it bigger. And so doing this is just making it grow and expand. And so with like twirling at Michigan State, I've definitely noticed a lot of little girls coming up to me and they're like, "You're so good, how can you do all of this?" And I just tell them, with lots of practice, you can be the same way.
I definitely agree. I feel like being on the field and getting to perform, you're really making an impact on, first of all, like the sport of baton twirling, and also like you're representing your university and like showcasing such a unique sport to so many different people, and seeing the reactions, like how Lydia was talking about, seeing the reactions of the little kids that come up to you afterwards. That's just so heartwarming. And I feel like that's just such a special experience. And even I feel like that trickles into the competition world as well. When you perform your collegiate events and some of the younger twirlers are watching you and they haven't really seen a lot of college twirlers before, or if maybe this is their first competition and they're seeing college twirlers performing and the looks on their faces are just so cute, and like being able to represent your college to a bunch of younger twirlers and maybe inspire them to want to twirl in college one day is just really awesome. So I love both competition and on the field performances.
I think I have to come in with a little bit of opposition. Not to say that I like one more than the other, but I definitely think they work as a cohesive unit. They both build a lot of character in different ways. And competition twirling, you really have to manage your stress like inside, where I feel like with field twirling, you can let it go out and really show off your personality. I also think that with field twirling, it's a lot of tradition that goes back, decades before us. And competition twirling has evolved into something that I'm sure we all want as an Olympic sport one day. And so I really think that we need to try to make them come together a little bit more, so that way we can show the world that twirling is a lot more than what we do on the field. It's the amount of hours that we put in the gym to compete at the highest level that we can.
I definitely agree with that. I think now starting something like this and starting with you guys so you can bring that perspective to other people. A lot of people don't know that there's a big difference between field twirling and competitive twirling. A lot of people, if you see them at the game, they think it's the same exact thing that you were to do on the competition floor, which isn't true necessarily. So that this is where we can finally bring the blend together and show everybody all the sides of baton twirling. Let's move on to some advice. A lot of you are from all different years, which is awesome. So you can give your different perspectives, what you want to pass down to the future generations of Big Ten twirlers, anything like that. So let's start it off with Nicole.
So like I said in a previous episode, at Northwestern, there's not always a constant feature twirler. And so even getting the audition and becoming a feature twirler was a little bit different from a lot of other different Big Ten schools. And so one thing I have for a piece of advice, especially for people who want to go to a school that maybe doesn't have a feature twirler yet or had one in the past but hasn't had one in a long time, is reaching out to the old feature twirlers. I reached out to the feature twirler from 2016 and her sister that came 4 years before her. Their names are Lauren and Kaylee, and they really took me under their wing. Kaylee taught me all of the different feature twirler positions on the field and different traditions that they have, and she also helped me choreograph because she lived in the Evanston area. So I really recommend just getting to know the past feature twirlers.
So there's a lot of advice I'm sure we can all think of and give, but like a lot of stuff is really exciting for people to experience on their own. I mean, Lexi, there were a couple things that you didn't tell me just so I could experience it too. But my biggest piece of advice probably is just to get to know everyone in band. I mean, they're all so incredible. And like we said in a previous episode, they're your biggest supporters. And just everyone I meet, I love. They're all such incredible people. And so, yeah, that's probably my biggest piece of advice.
I have to say my biggest piece of advice is to step out of your comfort zone. Like if you're here, growth occurs like outside of your box is how I like to think of it. And so when I like to perform, I think my most memorable moments are when I really pushed myself on the field or did something that I was always afraid to try. And so being in college marching band and having that extra time during the week to practice has allowed me to develop other skills besides regular baton competition skills, like gymnastics tricks and other stuff like that. And coming in as the girl in black and then going to the golden girl, I got to learn from the golden girl at the time, who is Caitlin Schleiss, and other twirlers, and being able to connect with them and learn different things to help me improve myself as a twirler and grow more is super beneficial. And my favorite memories are being able to do harder tricks on the field and being a proud of myself in accomplishing that stuff.
Yeah, so I actually kind of want to bounce off of what Amanda's saying too. Like, it definitely really pays off when you push yourself outside of your comfort zone and like try new things on the field. You're able to create more memories that way and do those kinds of things. I feel like it's also super important. Like, my advice would be to like remember all the traditions and really embrace those traditions like as like during your time as like a twirler at a university. So just like upholding those traditions and carrying them on to the people after you and upholding them while you're there is super important. But I feel like it's also really great to make your own traditions and kind of pave your own way as well. So, you know, you want to uphold all the old traditions and really celebrate those and embrace those, but you also want to do your own unique things and really discover your own style while you're twirling. So, you know, stepping outside of your comfort zone can kind of help you discover those things for yourself, and just really paving your way will really make your experience as a twirler so much more memorable.
So some advice I'd give is definitely to take advantage of any opportunity you may have being a part of the band. I think this year and like last year I really started to realize this, and especially with the pandemic going on and not being able to have a lot of opportunities, you really just want to get to do anything that you have as an option. And one thing that I've also thought a lot about is the fact that you're only here for 4 years and it goes by really fast. So definitely just making the most out of everything and getting to spend time with your band family is definitely really great.
I have to agree, your time in band will go by so fast. And I think college twirling is all about having fun. So just remember to have fun. And when you're looking for schools, don't just be thinking about what can you show them that you can do. Make sure to look at what do they have, what do their bands have that make you want to go there, because really you're going to be spending your 4 years there and you want it to be the best time it can be. So have fun. And I agree with, I don't remember who said it, but make friends with the band. It'll make your experience so much fun.
So I loved hearing about all of your guys' universities so much. Thank you for joining me for this first episode and multiple parts and everything like that. And thank you for kicking off Twirl Around the World with me. I'm so excited for everybody to see this episode and get to know you guys. So also don't forget to follow all of these twirlers on Instagram, and then make sure you follow Twirl Around the World with Lexi, Style+_band, and Intercollegiate MB, all on Instagram and Facebook. And look out for these feature twirlers during the CBDNA Intercollegiate Marching Band performance. To see all that and keep up with that, make sure you also subscribe to Style+ Band on YouTube and see what's in store for all of these upcoming episodes. Thank you guys so much again. See you guys later.